Hello, hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today is one of our box legendaries with probably the dumbest name, honestly, Dialga. I call it dumb because the rest of them are like, hey, Groudon, because it reflects the ground. They didn't call it Rubion, so the fact that they named this Pokemon after Diamond just felt kind of lazy to me. It's a clever nickname of Dragon and TikTok. It's dumb. That said, the rest of them aren't so bad. So, Time Lord, hey look, he gives credit to Doctor Who instead of pretending like he made up Doctor Who. That's great. I basically came in expecting a bunch of Doctor Who shit, and when I loaded up the comment suggestions, I saw another Doctor Who based one. So yeah, Doctor Who's a thing. If that's your thing, sure. It's not mine though. Iron Age is actually kind of clever. I don't think it's a good idea for a nickname, but for a joke, it is pretty clever. Father Time is totally fine. Kronos is your typical Greek mythology bullshit, and he says both are based on mythology. Father Time actually isn't. Like, it's a thing people made up, but there's no mythology behind it. It's kind of like the concept of death, the Grim Reaper. There's no mythology behind that. That's just a personification that we as a species made up to represent it. That's it. A little bit different. Timekeeper isn't the worst, but at the same time, I'm going to be thinking of like a basketball timekeeper, and I feel like that's probably not the best choice for Dialga, is to imagine Dialga blowing a whistle saying time out. I don't know. It's just not for me. But the joke isn't the worst, I guess. Clockwork is the name that I feel like on its own is usually pretty good, but in the world of Pokemon, I don't think it is. I don't remember which one it was. Somebody used it for... I feel like my mind goes to Honchkrow after the Sly Cooper enemy. And I like the idea of that, but again, I don't know. I feel like Clockwork just doesn't stand out or is special enough to be as a nickname in the world of Pokemon. Especially when you have things like Kling Clang actively existing. And then Prime Time is also on the spreadsheet. Again, another kind of sports joke with this one, and at that time, they were, Primal, Groudon, and Kyogre was a thing. As to where this doesn't have shit to do with that one. But, at that time, it kind of made sense. My brother speculates that with the new games, and he thought this before they even announced the damn trailer, so we're talking like maybe a year or so again, that we'd probably get like a Gigantamax, Dynamax special variant of Dialga and Palkia, and I think when you consider Primal, Groudon, and Kyogre, it makes a bunch of sense. But at this time, we don't even know if Dynamaxing is going to be in the Sinnoh remake. Things to think about. As far as it is a nickname, it's the same level of Timekeeper. I can't take it seriously. Rolex, on the other hand, I think is a little bit funnier. That's the same vein as Clockwork, but I don't know, that just makes me laugh because it's like, yeah, it's a time joke, you get it? That's the stupidest thing, but I don't hate it. I'll see if maybe I can position this perfectly. TARDIS is basically another thing. I've also seen Doctor Who. I've also seen Time Lord. Re-emphasizing again, I get it, Doctor Who is a thing. The other one, well, since we got the comment pulled up already, is Eternity. That one's okay. Binding of Isaac Bayonetta style nickname. It fits with the time thematic as well going on, so it's alright, but I understand Doctor Who. I'll highlight this one just for the sake of it. I'm not into Warcraft, but I know Warcraft's a pretty popular thing. I also did see someone say Bahamut, and they were like, Platinum Dragon, and I googled it, and it was like, one was mythology, one was Warcraft. I chose to ignore it, but just on the subject of it, if Warcraft's your fancy, that's fine. I also kind of want to go down here, because I honestly think something like Temporal Diamond and Spatial Pearl would have been much better names for the Sinnoh remakes than what we got. What do you say we end this episode with a meme, shall we? I kind of enjoy stuff like this, where they just poke fun at the logic of it. One of my favorites was a picture of Gold trying to pick up a Pokeball, but it was on a ledge, and he was like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, we're at the bottom, and honestly, this kind of ended up coming much shorter than I expected, maybe just comparatively to something like Rotom or the Lake Trio. It felt like a walk in the park, opposed to I devoted an hour of my day just to recording. There weren't too many suggestions, and I find that weird because I'm like, I know there's bound to be plenty of ideas. There probably just aren't under Dialga nicknames. You probably gotta like search something else, like fucking Firo or whatever. Anyway, comment suggestions. We already talked about Chaotic, so the next one was Epoch from Nos. I'm half and half on it, because on one hand it is kind of on the simple wavelength of like Eternity or something else in that vein. Maybe it just kind of has this weird feeling to me because I just think of Epoca, which is Portuguese. I don't know. But it's an option there if you want. As far as highlighting the stuff we saw today, honestly, Father Time was probably the one I liked the most. And then Rolex was funny, because it's stupid. And another one I saw in a previous thread, which, I mean, I'm half and half on it. I wrote it down, so I guess that counts for something. Someone put Time Bomb. You get it? It's a time joke. Nothing really bomb about it, though, I guess. But that's it. So I don't have a personal choice because I don't nickname my legendaries. It's just me. So any other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good. I did see a few that were kind of trying to do a pair between Dialga and Palkia. You can if you want to. That's always an option. You could do paired nicknames for certain ones that match together. Like if you wanted to do the legendary birds as like a thematic, or the Lake Guardians, or Groudon and Rayquaza, or whatever. Like that's always an option. So if you have any ideas that could work for pairs, that's welcome too. But I think Dialga doesn't need to rely on something like that. Like it's the fucking deity of time, the keeper of time, so it should have enough material to work with to come up with something. So feel free to put your ideas down below, which I already said, and I'm going to shut up now before I repeat my outro. Oh, wow!